recording this. All right. Now we're in. We just, for the people at home, we just had some gold. And now it'll probably suck. This is exactly what we were just talking about. Now I think if you hit record, this will suck because it was great a second ago.
Well, yeah, because you create that reality. Also, I feel like once you say it sucks, it's definitely going to suck, right?
Oh, I thought the opposite. Once I say this might suck, that makes it good.
I guess that's true. Like a lot of times before I go on stage, I go, I'm going to, because, okay, what we were talking about is hypochondria and how we think if you really worry about something, you won't get it. Because we think the universe is trying to be like, have twists, like they only make shit bad for people doing good. But so a lot of times before I go on stage, I try to tell myself I'm going to bomb.
Yes.
Because I feel like if I'm going to see, if I feel like I think I'm going to do great, then I'm going to bomb. I feel like we feel like the universe is constantly trying to punish us.
Yeah. If it helps, right before you go on, I tell everyone else you're going to bomb. I'm like, this guy's going to eat it. Fucking check this out.
Well, that really helps. It lowers the expectations, you know?
What is your response to comedians when they bomb? Because I was talking about this the other day with some comics, and I've said this for years. When a comic eats shit and then they come off stage and then someone goes, hey, good set. I'm like, you just kept them in for like another 10 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because whenever I tell someone good set, that just means, like, for me, that just means hello. Like, I probably didn't watch your set.
Right.
Because one time I said good set to someone, and then I posted a joke on Facebook the next day, and he commented, and that's my joke. You saw me do it on stage yesterday, and I had to be like, oh no, I wasn't watching you. When I said good set, that's just like, hey, how's it going? You know?
That's hilarious. That could be like at least a subplot of a movie.
Yeah.
Where the guy's like an eyewitness and he says he saw something, but he never actually watched it. He was just saying it because he didn't want to sound like a dick.
Yeah, and then he gets involved. He gets like culpable, and he has to get out of it. Yeah. So if someone bombs, I mean, it's hard. It's very rare you see someone completely eat shit. You're talking about completely? Because a lot of times it's a little up for interpretation.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, but I'm talking like everyone did well except for this guy or girl, usually a girl.
So in that situation, God, I don't know what I mean, I think in that situation, I just leave. I just go home. I just leave to avoid the situation. Probably.
Yeah, you move back in with your parents.
Yeah, go back to Louisville. Yeah, I don't know. What would you do?
What I usually do is if I'm watching someone eat a bag of cheese, I'll leave the room. And then when they come off, I'll say, how are they? I'll say, I caught a little, they seem weird. Or sometimes I'll say they seem weird.
Oh man, I feel like you said that to me a bunch of times. I'm really, really reflecting. I feel like many times I get on stage, you come up and go, how are you? I'm like, how are they? I'm like, fuck, you probably watched the beginning.
Well, sometimes this is like, forget about it in Donnie Brasco. Sometimes it just means, how are they?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Man, yeah, I mean, if someone hosts and eats shit, right? I'll just say you did the Lord's work or something. Because if someone hosts and eats shit, it's fine because everyone could just assume they're a bad crowd at that point. You know what I mean? It's right. You kind of only realize later if they did a bad job. You know what I mean?
That's the weird thing. I remember one time I did a Just for Laughs audition years ago. I auditioned for fucking 10 years before I got it and then got nothing out of it. But the guys that you have to audition for, it was like a group of people. They were this is that Broadway Comedy Club. Sean Patton was hosting, and I was first. And the guys you auditioned for, they were like in the other room, like having drinks or whatever.
Like Jeff Singer?
And Robbie Pra at the time. I'm old, but who now runs Netflix, or at least the comedy department. But anyways, so they were in the other room at the bar during Sean Patton's opening set, and he ate it. Then they came in like towards the end of his set, right as he kind of got them. And then they watched my set and I ate it, not knowing that their golden boy had just eaten shit.
Fuck. But they were there to watch. Why were they watching? Why weren't they watching him if he was their golden boy? Or he did JFL. He did JFL last year.
Yeah, so he was hosting the audition. Yeah. So they're like, we don't need to watch him again. We already love him.
No, that's fucked up. They don't see the whole thing, you know? But it sounds like he did well at the end. So it sounds like you had an opportunity to do well, but then you went back to Bobby. That's the part that's you said he did well at the very end. of his set.
He kind of got them. He got them enough that they heard like a laugh, or they heard the cheer. They heard like, "Come on, you guys ready?" Woo-hoo!
Right. Oh, I see.
Whatever. Fuck you, man.
But it was his fault. It was his fault.
It wasn't his fault. They were a
Right.
shit crowd. It was their fault that they didn't see comic they love not doing well.
But did you get it that year or no?
No, I didn't get it.
Jeff Singer, like he saw me a couple years, and then one year he went up to me. He knew me. We'd talked a bunch of times. And for the listeners at home, I'm from Kentucky. And he took his hand out and he goes, "Kansas City." And I had to like shake his hand and I still to this day have to pretend I'm from Kansas City whenever I see him.
That's great.
He said it so confidently. He's like, it was like almost like we had good times. And he's like, "Kansas City, huh?"
That's like Robert Dean. I got so many thoughts because I want to get into some movies, but Robert Dean has that great joke. I don't know if you know that joke about going to his therapist, who happens to be my therapist, and he saw him for like 6 months, and he's talking to him, and then his therapist says, "Well, you got to ask one question. What's best for Richard Dean?" and he was like, "All right, I got to find a different therapist."
I gotta say, I had a slightly similar thing. I mean, my therapist is that's because your therapist is like, he's like really hands-on. I see a psychiatrist who's just like, just 2 minutes, like, here's some pills, shut the fuck up, right? But like 6 months into it, he literally asked, because he does like an obligatory thing, he goes, "So, how's the music career going?" And then I had to just, like, it was too embarrassing to say I was a comedian, so I just had to be like, "It's going well. The band is doing well, and we're on tour next week." And
the band played the Funny Bone.
Played the Funny Bone, yeah. And so
that's really funny. Well, so I mentioned, I alluded to Donnie Brasco. Where are you on Donnie Brasco? We want to talk movies. We love talking movies. Where are you on Donnie Brasco?
I really like Donnie Brasco, and here's something I find always very interesting about Donnie Brasco. So that's a movie that's based on a true story, right?
Yes.
But the true story is very different. And it's interesting how they change it for the movie. So at the end of the true story, it's actually Michael Madsen's character who gets fucking whacked when Johnny Depp reveals all the information. Right. When they find out Johnny Depp's a snitch, Michael Madsen's character is the one who gets whacked. And then Al Pacino's character is actually the one going to meet someone and is about to get whacked. And the FBI stop him and save him. They actually save Pacino's character. But in the movie, they had to make it look like Pacino dies at the end, right?
Right.
So it's kind of genius. You show him put his, the wallet down and the keys, right? And you show him leave the room, and then it cuts to Donnie Brasco at a shooting. What do you call it? One of the
range.
Range, a shooting range, and the gunshots of him suggest that Pacino got whacked.
Right.
But he didn't get whacked. He gets stopped on the way to getting whacked. So they didn't even lie. They just kind of used directing and visuals and synthesizing two images to make you think something for tragic purposes.
Right. Interesting.
That interesting?
That is interesting for sure. That movie is like good, but it's like mob movie light. It's 2 steps above A Bronx Tale and 20 steps below Goodfellas.
Well, because it's not like epic. That's the thing. It's very like personal and like usually mob movies have almost like the best ones are like this epic commentary on America, and this was just more about psychological stuff. But it was good. I thought it was good. Fucking
it's fun. Yeah.
Bruno Kirby when he gets shot. That part's fucked up.
I love Bruno Kirby. There's some cheese. The dialogue's not quite as good. There's a weird filter that makes it look made for TV.
Yeah,
it's just not nearly as good as those other ones, but it's fun.
Don't they slap doesn't Pacino they always got to give an old guy like a dream? Isn't his dream? Doesn't he just keep on going like, one day I'm gonna get a boat? And they're like it's like a very vague. It's like, once I get that boat.
Yeah, and then there's like little things. There's little parts where it's like you can tell in the book the guy mentioned that he doesn't roll the window down, so they're like, put that in. That's good.
Yeah,
he smokes without putting the window. Like you're just like, okay, I see. You can see the filmmaking.
Yeah, and it doesn't. Yeah, it's obviously no good. Is Goodfellas your favorite mob movie?
Yeah, it depends on if we consider. It's tricky. Godfather, Goodfellas are tricky because Is The Godfather a mob movie? I guess it is. Goodfellas, ultimately, I probably like better, but I love both of those movies. But it's hard to call The Godfather a mob movie. It's hard to even say mob movie for Goodfellas because it's so much more.
Yeah, but it is true that like Goodfellas is way closer to what the mob is, which is just a bunch of fucking sociopaths. And then The Godfather is just like, it feels like dynasty. It feels like royalty. You know, it's dignified.
Well, that's what made Goodfellas so interesting. And as far as I know, that's the only movie up until that point, and maybe still, that was about soldiers and not about the head of the family. Mob movies had always been about the Don, the Godfather, the whole thing.
People don't realize how far removed the people in Goodfellas are from the mob. They're actually technically not really they're not made people.
Right.
Exactly. Like in Sopranos, everyone's made, and it's like the organization. Technically, the Goodfellas is just about people who know mob people.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
It's just like mob related.
That's
like,
what makes it so interesting. It's low level guys.
So low level, yeah.
None of them get made. Obviously, the one guy who's qualified gets shot in the face.
Yeah, that's the closest they get. It gets killed to me, which is such a what a reversal. You think you're getting a promotion, and instead you get murdered.
Yeah,
like that's such a crazy. Like imagine you think something great's about to happen, and then you just get. It's like the opposite.
That's how I feel with this podcast right now.
We had a good minute before you pressed record.
No, this is great. But some fun facts about that scene where Tommy gets killed. Supposedly, I heard this from Sean Donnelly, who's a movie guy and has his own movie podcast called Defend Your Movie. No. Stand by your band and defend your movie.
No, that's Tom Takaris. Defend Your Movie is Donnelly's. Yeah.
Well, he said that the guy doing the shooting of Tommy DeVito, who's really Tommy Simone, I think, the guy that shoots him is Gotti.
You mean
the actor is Scorsese's dad.
Oh, okay, but Gotti, actually John Gotti is the one who kills him?
John Gotti is the guy that killed that guy in real life.
But they look so fucking old, isn't it? It looked like four people have a nursing home who
they didn't cast John Gotti.
Yeah, right.
In real life.
Right. I get confused sometimes. Right. So yeah, nothing to do with the actors.
In real life, the guy that shot him is John Gotti. And also, Tommy DeVito, the character, in real life, A, he was like 24 when he got killed, and B, he was like 6'7", 275 pounds. He was like a big monster.
Oh, Pesci was.
Yeah, Joe Pesci's character in real life.
Joe Pesci is 6 feet tall? They could film him that short? One time when I was like younger, you ever had that thing in childhood where you say something really stupid and your siblings or whatever, are you an only child? No, you have like a sister, right?
God, no, that's disgusting.
They just like one time we were watching Jeopardy. I think I was at least 11, and the question was, this is where I get confused with actors. The question was, who was the only president to have a role to be on a Star Trek, right? Who was the only president featured on Star Trek? And the answer was Abraham Lincoln. And I said, I didn't realize Star Trek was that old. Because in my head, I thought, they made fun of me for so long. In my head, I literally thought, like, Star Trek I knew movies weren't around the 1800s. I was like, maybe Star Trek was like a play that was put on in the 1800s, and Abraham Lincoln was in the play.
I mean, that's hilarious. But yeah, it sounds like their question.
I've been retarded for a while.
Their question was posed shittily, if you ask me.
Oh, so you don't think I'm being that dumb?
No, I mean, if that's how the question was actually asked, because it does make it seem like there's a president on there. And so in my mind, when you said that, I was like, it's got to be Eisenhower or Truman, I guess.
Right, but once they say Abraham Lincoln, that's where a non-retarded person would be like, oh, they phrased the question wrong.
Certainly.
And instead, I went, I didn't realize Star Trek has been around for so long.
Yeah, certainly. But it's not insane. Like, I just found this out. Did you know this? Or maybe I'll pose it as a question. What year do you think the YMCA started? Not the dance, the organization.
Well, I mean, I guess now I know it's old, right? But I actually didn't know it was old anyway. But I'm going to say 1800s.
Yeah, like late 1800, like 1890, something like that. I thought the YMCA came up in the 70s. Like I thought it was, or like late
Right.
60s or something.
Yeah, that's not that. I mean, yeah, but I think I knew something about that maybe. But yeah, some shit is a lot older than you think. But
Don't
not
get me
Star
wrong.
Trek.
My thing is not retarded. Yours is
I know.
retarded, aggressively retarded.
Well, you know how when you're if I feel like I'm imaginative, so like I'm stupid but imaginative. So in that moment, I literally did think like Star Trek was like a touring play, like they tore it, and then they had Abraham Lincoln do like a cameo.
Yeah, it's not that crazy, and also it's like this is why lying works. People tend to, it's changed now, but like people tend to believe what you tell them. So you go, hey, yeah, this thing is the thing. You're like, oh, all right, great.
We defend every fact anyone has ever told us till we were like 25. We defend with our lives. We never research it. We refuse to do that, but we will just defend it with our lives. And then slowly, it takes so long to realize what a kid told you in third grade was made up.
I mean, that's the whole concept, basically. We're going to go to a weird place here, but that's the whole concept of like American exceptionalism is people that are still like, no, we're the best. We did the thing. And don't get me wrong, people are going to tweet at me and say, love it or leave it or whatever. Right. But the idea that like Vietnam, we were righteous and doing this great thing or all these things.
Right. You're just saying the thing. Yeah. And also, you can't, the love it or leave it people, we can't leave. We're not allowed to leave anymore. That's how bad the country is. So your phrase is over.
But okay, so we wanted to do as a jumping off point, we want to talk about movies. And I said we might be able to jump off from 1994, which many people consider one of like the two great classic years of movies. A lot of people go to like 1939. You had Wizard of Oz and the other thing. And what was the other big movie? 39.
I bet it's
Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same producer, director, creator, David O.
So
Selznick.
there's big years in movies. Obviously, the 70s. To me, I think you wouldn't debate that the 70s is the best decade for American film. At least, would you agree with that?
There's a lot of great 70s movies, but there are also a lot of 70s movies that people say are great, and then you watch them, and there's no plot. You can't hear any of the dialogue, and then at the end, it's just kind of a sad ending.
What's an example?
I feel like Easy Rider is the most overrated turd of all time, but that's 1969. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And Easy Rider, it was definitely a movie of the time, revolutionary because it made everyone want to drop out, but it doesn't hold up great.
Yeah, but yeah, obviously 70s is great. You got Nashville, you got The Godfathers, you got Jaws. Those are
Cuckoo's Nest, Chinatown, Star Wars.
No. Chinatown 60.
No, Chinatown 74.
Really?
100% sure.
Oh fuck! All right, yeah, China. Yeah, you got some of the greats.
Because Nicholson lost in 74. I think maybe Pacino won the best actor, and then he got it the next year.
And by the way, I do love movies. Like, so whenever I say I don't like a movie, people are like, "What, do you like anything?" And it's like, "Are you crazy?" I saw Mystic River 5 times in theaters. I know Jurassic Park by heart. I'm obsessed with movies. I saw The Irishman 3 times. That's how much I fucking liked it. I saw it 3 times. So I love movies passionately. And that's why sometimes with a movie like Forrest Gump or Shawshank, for me, it's like, I find them underwhelming, and that, I don't know. It's because I demand a lot from movies.
See, we're the exact same way. That could have been me talking, other than the Shawshank Forrest Gump. People say that to me all the time on my podcast. We talk about movies like List hates everything. You don't like anything. What do you like? And all this shit. And I'm like, I'm upset. Like Hannah and her sisters, I've seen 50 times. I could type out the script to The Godfather. I'm like, I'm obsessed with these movies. And I'm like you. I always say, I'm like, I hate all these mediocre movies because I'm like, I could have just watched Fargo again.
Right.
I could have watched Goodfellas, and instead I watched your fucking nonsense.
Which Fargo is, I think, one of the greatest movies. That's like on my top 5. I think that's one of the most perfect movies. But I think, and no offense, but I think it's crazy that you could have the cynical, like I hate everything, and still like Forrest Gump, which is a retarded movie. Like, it's just a retarded.
It's about a retard, but well, here's the thing. First and foremost,
Hot Dead and Form together. I think it's all. But yeah, anyway.
Oh, that was another guy one time on Twitter wrote. He's like, I know the kind of guy List is. He doesn't like anything popular. He tries to just be outside the box. That shit. He does that, and I'm like, Let's go through my favorite bands, Springsteen and Pearl Jam, favorite
Right.
TV show, Seinfeld, favorite movie, Goodfellas, The Godfather, Forrest Gump. I'm like,
Yeah.
favorite athlete is Michael Jordan. I'm like, what are you talking about?
You're like, I am a follower. I don't have
I'm a hack, baby. I'm a fucking basic bitch over here.
Yeah, I might be a little more like, but I don't consider myself a contrarian asshole. I really do believe, like, I don't just hate Forrest Gump because, and I recognize it's entertaining. And I don't hate it because I want to be contrarian. I think when it gets down to it, for me, and this is similar to Shawshank, which I don't hate as much, I like movies about fallible people. And I really like movies about pieces of shit, which might say something to me. But like have you ever seen Inside Llewyn Davis?
I love Inside Llewyn Davis.
One of my favorites, right?
Same here. I just watched it right before I left for Thanksgiving. Masterpiece.
It's a fucking masterpiece. It's perfect. And there's this one moment in the movie when I first watched it that made me love it, which I guess is different from other people. It's the like, you know how like they tell you gotta save the cat, show the character doing something good, and that's what makes you identify with them. The moment I love the movie is when he asks the boyfriend of the woman he had an affair with if he could borrow money from him to pay for her abortion because of the baby he impregnated. And I'm like, I fucking love that movie. So I like shitty people doing shitty things, and Forrest Gump is just a movie about a saint, and it's like it's not a real person. It's not relatable.
But he's retarded. That's the worst thing you can do is be retarded. He's like the ultimate.
Sure. It is the ultimate character flaw.
He doesn't even understand abortion. He's impregnating a woman with a retarded kid.
Yeah, but it's just like what's the point of it? That retarded people can be lucky? What is it? What is that movie about?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, a few things. One thing, I don't know. You're a little younger than me, I guess?
Just a little.
So
36. Okay,
so you're 2 years younger than me. When did you see Forrest Gump? Let me ask you that.
Well, it's 1994, right? So I'm sure I saw it. So I was 10 years old. I'm sure I saw it. I think I saw it on a rental. I don't think I saw it in theaters. I think I saw it as a rental.
The reason I think, because I'm like, maybe if you saw it later, you'd be cynical. I saw it in the theater, East Bridgewater, Mass, with Ron Reynolds. And I remember being like, this is the greatest movie. And I like, first of all, deep level. I got a lot of thoughts here. You're not alone. Okay. It wasn't until recently that people were like, Forrest Gump sucks. And I didn't realize how much blowback there was.
I was saying that when I was 10 years old. I was in the building. This movie fucking sucks. They're putting a halo on a mentally handicapped person.
Well, it's weird that you were in the belly at 10, but
no, basement.
Oh, I think you said in the belly, like you were.
Oh, like in the womb.
I was like, what? You're not supposed to be up there, man. But I saw it. I mean, first of all, I got trouble with feelings and emotion and saying what I feel and feeling what I think. So it was touching. There's a lot of feels moments. So when I was a kid, first of all, I thought it was hilarious. There was so many great jokes to me. And when you're young, anything you get, like I was able to follow it. It wasn't confusing. It was just like, It was straightforward. It had college football, which I loved. It had running, which I loved. There was jokes, Vietnam. Music was great.
And another thing which I think makes kids like it, it had references that you maybe didn't know, but you learn the references through the movie. You learn like maybe that Elvis, I mean, for me, I was 10, so I learned like Elvis is called the king, and I learned stuff about Nixon. So you kind of, it's almost like you start to feel like you learn, Forrest Gump is a history lesson for 10-year-olds. I mean, that's
well, I get that. And also, I like movies that are a whole life. Like one of my favorite movies ever is Big Fish, which is very similar to Forrest Gump.
Yeah, sentimental nonsense.
A guy from Alabama, his father is fucked up. I mean, it was touching to me that he was retarded and he ran. I love a good love story. I'm a sucker. I'm a romantic. I'm a sucker for like, I remember the first time I heard her voice and all that shit. Lieutenant Dan was great. Now
he's the part that's good. Lieutenant Dan is the best part of the movie because that's an interesting, fallible character, and he is definitely, to me, the most interesting part. But I will say, back in the day when I argued with movies, probably now I'd be like, "You're a fucking idiot. This movie sucks." But now I'm like, I can't argue with you because you love the movie as a kid in theaters. And at that point, and I'm not saying you're wrong for loving it, but I'm saying at that point, it's so hard to know. You know what I mean? Because it's like, do you love the movie? Do you love your childhood? It's all kind of wrapped. Like, what would you think if you saw it when you were older, I guess is the question.
Yeah, I mean that's sort of the question I posed, but whatever.
I mean, like,
play back the tape. I posed that a few minutes ago, but no, I mean it was sentimental. I loved the soundtrack was amazing. I loved the score was amazing.
the score's good.
And it was really everything I say you agree with. I'm starting to think you like this movie more than you realize.
No, because I don't see the point of it. I just have a similar experience where movies I saw in theaters I love. I like Jurassic Park was the greatest experience I've ever had in theaters. I peed twice while watching it. One time because I was scared, and another time because I just didn't want to leave my seat. So like I peed for two different reasons. It was an incredible movie, but I don't know if I saw it as an adult, I'd probably be like, this is fucking dumb as shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, for me, Forrest Gump is just, I like characters who are real and fallible, and I don't like saints. And I can't relate to it. Forrest Gump is a saint. He's a saint.
It's funny and ironic. There's a sequel to the movie, a book form, and he plays for the Saints. He's an actor.
Oh, does he? I know there's a, what is it called? Gump Again? Or I know there's a book.
I think it's Gump Inc. or something like that.
Yeah. I also feel like probably the book is probably a lot different, right? It's probably maybe a little darker.
I think the book was a lot different. It was more dark comedy. I think less sentimentality and stuff.
It's so sentimental, and it's like, honestly, like, what is the movie saying?
Well, I think first of all, did you know that conservatives tried to really grasp onto that? Do you know about that?
Not only that, I think it's conservative. I think it's a conservative movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what they said. They were like, look at this. This is the principles of conservatism. Like this guy went and proudly served.
Then again, they're saying it's conservative because the retard is showing all the conservative values. So it's clear.
Well, it was. I mean, it's. I mean, it is funny, but he kind of avoids the counterculture. He doesn't understand the protest thing. He goes to college. He gets out of poverty. The Black
Panthers are abusive.
Yeah, exactly.
Like punch her, like fuck you, you white bitch.
So he's a religious guy and he just does his work and all that stuff. But I think there's a lot of, as a sober person, there's a lot of like sobriety in there, which Robert Zemeckis, I believe, I don't know, just from his work, is somebody that's in recovery.
Sure.
He made the movie Flight.
Love Flight. Flight is like the ultimate AA movie. I love it.
It really is. And Back to the Future is also all about those same things. If fate.
Well, when I'm drunk, I want to fuck my mother. So I guess, yeah.
Yeah, and I want to punch a rapist, who's also my dad. That didn't make sense, but anyways. So anyway, there's a lot in there that I like about. It sort of feels like recovery is in there, and simplicity, and love, and loyalty, and it's just a beautiful film to me.
Yeah, I guess I like characters who are shitty and have to deal with shitty problems, and I don't
Lieutenant
relate.
Dan, Jenny.
I like Lieutenant Dan. I don't relate to Forrest Gump. I just don't relate to him. The way I mean, obviously I really relate to Oscar, Llewyn Davis, and I know it's a different movie, but like, yeah, I need characters to be a little shitty, I think.
I guess so. I mean, to me, there's shitty characters in there. You don't have to be Forrest Gump. You could be. I mean, his dad is shitty. The principal's pretty shitty.
Yeah, but it's like simplistic shitty. I don't know. Like, to me, it's also like, what is the movie about? It's just saying if you're retarded, it's better. That's what it's saying. It's better to be retarded because retarded people can be very lucky. Because that's what it is. He's just lucky. Which is weird too.
Luck is in there, I guess, but
it's better to be retarded because you're pure of heart and you'll catch a lot of shrimp. You'll be lucky.
Well, we should all be retarded, I think.
That's what I'm saying.
All right. So that's Forrest Gump. So now we got to get into Shawshank Redemption, which I think you're going to get more pushback on.
Oh yeah, people. I guarantee you, if you did a poll of people's favorite movie, it would be Shawshank Redemption. I truly believe that. If you polled everyone, if you polled everyone in America, yeah, that
would get the most answers.
Well, I just forgot about all old people, but like if you polled everyone under like 50,
right? Yeah,
old people,
It's a popular movie without question. I mean, it's on TV the most. It's a movie I love. It's not without its flaws, I would say, for sure. But you're not a fan.
Yeah, it's not that. And let me be clear before there's pushback, or whatever. I really think Forrest Gump is dumb as shit. I don't think Shawshank. I think Shawshank's a good movie. I just think when people start saying it's like your favorite movie, that's where I'm like, and this is going to be kind of insulting, but whatever. I think Shawshank is a stupid person's masterpiece. It kind of like explains. I think it kind of like explains why it's great. All the moments are kind of easily explained. But like Forrest Gump, the main guy is a fucking saint, and I just can't relate to that. Most of the prisoners, by the way, are way too. They're all just like, I mean, except for the one who rapes them. They're all just like kind of also obviously good at heart.
Yeah,
and it's just like it's too pure at heart for me. I like. You ever see Dead Man Walking?
Yes.
I love Dead Man Walking. I love that. To me, the movie about prison. It's someone who fucking did the crime.
Right.
And they're just lying the whole time, but then at the end they own up to it, and that's to me really powerful. But Tim Robbins is innocent, and he's basically Jesus. He's Jesus.
Yeah. So, few points. I mean, this is like the height of the exceptionalism that people hate. A New York Jew telling everyone their favorite movie is for stupid people.
I'm gonna get cream more than Alison Levy with her.
Yeah. Just two guys in glasses being like, hey, your favorite movies are dumb.
Well, I told you that. I'm sorry, what you said?
No, so I understand your point. I mean, sir, first of all, yes, it's the softest prison. It is prison in the 40s, so maybe back then it was a little more not as harsh. Except
there's the one group who rapes you. You're either really nice or you violently rape. It's one or the other.
There is the thing of like, well, the rapist is gone, all set. Like
one bad guy.
It does seem like a place that's like pretty nice. The courtyard, everybody's friendly. They're swinging in naked women and harmonicas.
It's really nice. And then I remember the one point in terms of just how good everyone is like, there's one point where, what's his name? The one in Banks is here. Brooks put the knife to the prisoner who like gives him the letter that he's getting paroled, right? Yeah. He's about to cut that other inmate's throat. And like, he's like, I'm going to kill him. And then they take him away and explains that he doesn't want to go. And then there's a scene at the bleachers where the one guy's like, why the fuck did he have the knife at my throat? And Morgan Freeman's like, calm down. He was just upset. And then that other guy's like, yeah, you're right. I should have taken it personal. It's like, it's a prison where like you just forgive someone for having a knife at your throat. It's just like, what world is this?
Right. And then also, by the way, not one racial incident in the whole thing. Just everybody's just totally cool with the black murder guy.
There's just, he's the only, there's like one black guy, right? Plus the other fucking unbelievable. No, kidding.
There's another guy working in the laundry room, I think, that throws him a bag or something.
No, that's American History X, right? Oh, no.
No. But it is Maine. But I mean, it's just funny that not one of them is like, what the fuck are we doing with this piece of shit?
Yeah. It would be funny if you read like the details and it turned out they were like part of the nation of, like the Aryan nation in prison. They're just really laid back. They just had Morgan Freeman in there.
Well, in the book, it was a guy, like an Irish guy with red hair, and they kept the name Red.
Oh.
In the book, it's not a black guy. So that's probably why there's nothing written in where they're like, let's get him. You know what I mean?
That's why. Because he's not. Yeah, but it's true. There is no, like, you don't see like the Nation of Islam in one. Like, prisons are very racist. Prisons are not politically correct. They have very dividing lines. Also,
we want to make it clear here. We're saying because it's the prison in the 40s. We're not like, why aren't they beating up the black guy?
Yeah, no, we're just, and I also don't think prisoners are all inherently bad, but I think the system of prison is so fucked up. It makes people, it puts people in situations where they do, not everyone, but where they do act in violent ways, as you'll see in Rikers Island or something. So it's like, yeah, it was a very nice prison. So nice, like I feel like he didn't even really need escape, you know?
Yeah, it's Disney prison. Also, a few technical glitches that have been pointed out before. These aren't all my original points, but I'm sure you're familiar with some of them. One, he breaks the pipe and it explodes. Shit explodes out of it.
Yeah.
Which implies that it's a pressurized pipe.
Uh-huh.
Which means you wouldn't be able to crawl through it. It'd have to drain the entire thing.
Oh, okay. I don't know anything about pipes. I'm glad you thought I did.
Well, but if you can just use basic physics, like if it's full enough that when you break it open, it goes, it sprays, that means it's obviously full and flowing, because if it was only a third full, when you broke it open, you'd just look down in there.
I see. So they kind of act like, I see what you're saying. So they kind of act like it's only like half full of shit and there's a lot of room.
Yeah, but if it crawls out of it.
If it sprays out, that means it's packed of shit.
And that also would be.
So they should have shown him like, wait, sorry.
First of all, they would, no pun intended, there'd be an asinine amount of shit to be flowing through a pipe, just constantly like full.
That would have been a hilarious scene. It just doesn't stop. He's just getting sprayed with shit. He just gets sprayed with shit for like 10 minutes. It's just like a scene out of Dumb and Dumber. And then he has to scuba dive through the shit because he can't. It's just him scuba diving through it, I guess.
And then another point is when he throws, and this is the kind of stuff that people fucking hate when you point out in movies, but it's fun.
It's fun, yeah.
I still love it. When the warden throws the pebble and it breaks through the poster.
Oh, don't tell me. Can I guess? I haven't thought about this. I'm just like, I want to see if I can think it out. Because I know it goes through.
Yes.
And he cut a hole. Are you going to say the hole's way too big?
No. Well, I think about that all the time. Like, that's such a huge hole. That would take so much. I mean, it shows him dropping out the wall out of his pocket. Like, it would have to be an astronomical amount of cement.
Right, yeah. But that's not the issue? Okay.
That's not what I was going to say. This is another physics issue.
Fuck, I'm so dumb at this shit. I'm like, Abraham Lincoln and Star Trek. Rock through it. It breaks through. Is that all I need to know? Is it something the Rock does afterwards?
No, that's it. How does it break through is the point.
You're saying a poster, it couldn't break through paper?
The only way it could is if the poster was pulled tight on the inside again. With it not being glued or stapled at the bottom, like it's loose at the bottom. He goes through it. Somebody would have had to have pulled the paper tight.
It would have just pushed the whole poster in.
Yeah, it would just ding the poster because the poster's loose on the bottom. It wouldn't just go through like that.
Wait a minute. Now that I'm thinking about it, how did he even keep the poster up at all once he went in?
I guess you just keep the top two parts tacked and crawl underneath it, and then it would just loosely fall back over it.
You're right. The Rock would just push the bottom part out. Oh yeah.
It would just hit the thing. Someone would have had to go back in and like pull it as tight as possible, so it was like completely like.
This movie is very unrealistic about prison behavior and physics.
And the suit. He's wearing the warden's suit, but it fits perfectly. That suit would be like 6 inches too short. Tim Robbins is like 7'1".
Oh yeah, that's like a real short, squat guy. Yeah.
Yeah, the shoes too. His toes would be busting out like Castaway.
There's a lot of good comedy moments they really missed on this. Just him with like the tightest suit.
Yeah, like he walks into the bank with a tiny suit.
Or the warden just has the baggiest clothes on all the time. Like he just doesn't fit for himself. Yeah, that's a good point. Tim Robbins is huge. But here's the thing though. Is he huge in the movie? That's the thing.
I mean, he's taller than the warden. They stand next to each other a couple of times. And here's one more thing about the movie. And this is controversial take. Tim Robbins is a horrible actor. He stinks.
Yeah, we talked about this. Yeah.
He stinks. Go to the scene if you love the movie. I love the movie. I mean, I love the movie. I really do. I love it. It lifts my spirits. But the scene where he's sitting against the wall and he's talking to Morgan Freeman, not the rock wall. No, that's Freeman that does that. When he's sitting against the wall and he tells him about Say Wantaneo, when he does I was in the path of the tornado, it's some of the worst acting ever. It's all face acting. He's all squinty.
True. It is bad dialogue too.
Yeah, it's the dialogue.
It's bad. Like the other thing that is so annoying about the movie is that he just keeps on going, you gotta have hope. And everyone's like, are you crazy? Like the idea like it's controversial that you should have hope, which I feel like people in prison would have hope, but he's just like, I feel like the worse you're doing, the more delusional you are. But he's just always like, I believe in hope. And everyone's like, take a look at this guy's crazy take on life. And he repeats that 42 times. It's literally, I'm pretty sure that's what's annoying about the movie too. It hits your head over with the themes. Over and over, like literally the last line is Morgan Freeman going, I hope. It's like, what the fuck? I hope. It's like just saying it over and over again. Hope. In case you didn't get it, this movie is about hope. It's just like.
But okay, so also, it's why we're talking about the bad moments, but it's still great. I still love it. I don't want to, but the moment where he goes into isolation, whatever you call it,
The hole.
yeah, the hole, the fuck, what's that called? Solitary confinement. He's like, I got that record player with me, and they're like, you let him take it? He's like, nah.
In my head.
In my head. And they're like, what? Like, that's not anything.
Well, he's kind of like a pretentious douchebag. I feel like if someone said that to you in real life, you'd be like, that's like if someone's just like, yeah, I was in confinement, but I had the record player with me. First, you'd be like, well, why are you trying to trick me with that statement? Like, why are you trying to be like, you had it with you? No. No. I had it in my head. I'm like, just tell me that. Just say you were listening to music
right.
in your head. But also, no, you did it. Like, what does that mean? That's not how music. If music could be just as good imagining it, you wouldn't need to listen to it.
Completely. I mean, it's like seriously like one of the silly. That's the thing that always bothered me, where I was like, what? All right, I guess. Oh, and then make your point that I don't completely agree with about the music when he plays the record.
If I was teaching a film class, which I'm not qualified for, I'd say, this is why voiceover narration can be really bad in a movie. There's a beautiful scene. It actually could have been an amazing scene where he goes into the prison and he locks the door. He locks himself into the office and he plays that opera into the field. And all the inmates are listening to the opera. And if that was just a scene alone, it would have been this transcendent, beautiful scene because imagery alone can be really powerful. But it's ruined because it's a stupid person's masterpiece, and the people making it were like, people might not get this. So instead, you literally have Morgan Freeman going, I don't know what those ladies were singing right then, but I must imagine it was something too powerful to even put into words. He literally says it's too powerful to put into words. He's saying why there should not be voiceover narration right then. It just would you agree with me that scene would be so much more powerful without his voiceover? It's holding your hand.
It's hard to say because, I mean, the thing is, he is narrating the movie. It's not like they just plugged that in at that moment.
I know, but you don't need to have it at that moment. It feels like DVD commentary. Like if it's like,
it's interesting because I never thought of it. I think it's an interesting point. I like people that are thinking that way. I like that you thought of it, but I have found it touching in my life watching it.
I think it would have been so much more touching without the voiceover. This is the problem with voiceover a lot. So there's pure cinema, right? These moments that go beyond words, right? And when you have voiceover, a lot of times it can ruin those moments. It does the same thing when they're all drinking beer on the roof, because that's a nice moment, but you're just there. Even though we were in prison, it was like we were free men up on, it's just him explaining it. So if you think of like in Goodfellas, right? There's voiceover the whole time, right? But there's that amazing sequence where the camera follows them through the restaurant, right? Beautiful scene. It would have been ruined if that whole time he just had Ray Liotta going, I took her a tour and really impressed her, and now she's, you know what I mean? Like it's pure cinema. And Shawshank Redemption kind of fails a lot of pure cinema by the voiceover. I'd say voiceover 90% of the time ruins a movie, except for Scorsese.
Yeah, it's funny because Scorsese said he's been self-conscious about that because he said normally he feels like if someone's using voiceover, it's because the script's a little weak or the movie's a little weak. You have to give them something.
But his movies are so kind of documentary and like historical that I feel like it works well, in those scenes.
Yeah, and then there's the great moment in Casino where Pesci gets attacked while doing the voiceover, which is fun.
Yeah, doesn't he kind of go, ah? Or no, he says ah in person, but it looks like the narrator. For a second, it feels like the narrator's going, yeah, I meant to like it sounds like he's getting it.
He does do it like that. I mean, like he's sitting in a booth with headphones on. All of a sudden, like someone fucking nails him. I got two more movies I want to talk about from 1994. One is the most underrated film from 1994, and one of the most underrated films of all time. 1994, one of the most underrated movies ever, and the other one, of course, is I got three more movies I want to talk about. Quiz Show. Where are you on Quiz Show? Quick, give me the quick version.
Quiz Show is good. It's also another movie I used to love it. I watched it recently. It's another movie where they just like that one guy with that terrible accent kind of almost destroys the whole thing. What's his name?
I forget.
But he overly states the theme so many times. Like at the end, he's like, yeah, in the end, TV won or whatever. But like, I do think it's a good movie, and I think Ray Fiennes is great.
Yeah,
Ray Fiennes is so good. once again, like fallible character. But that one guy from Northern Exposure is so bad. But also watching again, I love to have time to watch. Have you seen it recently?
Not in a long time, probably 10 years.
Turturro may be guilty a little of doing an anti-Semitic portrayal of a Jew. A little.
That's fair.
I don't. Yeah, he's just like, he's just so annoying.
What do you think of this?
But I like it.
What do you think of this? I know, going back to Casino for a moment, Colin Quinn, who's I consider very wise and smart, he thinks in the movie Casino, Robert De Niro is actually miscast, which I don't disagree with, and he thought John Turturro would have been a better job.
You told me that once. I thought it was brilliant. I thought that was such a brilliant analysis because I was like, oh yeah, De Niro is miscast because he's too scary and it's just two thugs when it should be like a neurotic kind of like Jewy guy.
Yeah, exactly. That's the real
De Niro does not feel Jewish in that movie.
No.
And no, I think that's a great point. And I actually think Sharon Stone is not great in either. Casino is so good, but only because of Joe Pesci. Because Joe Pesci is amazing in that movie. And he's better in that than Goodfellas. I'll fucking say it. He's good in Goodfellas, but he's scarier in Casino. And it's like, he's come out scary and it's just so real. He just like makes that movie.
I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I mean, I've gotten into it. Chris Allen and I have almost gotten in fistfights. To me, the worst movie take I've ever heard, any take on film, worse than fucking anything anyone's ever said, is people that think Casino is better than Goodfellas. It fucking disqualifies them as human beings to me.
I once had someone, a colleague at work, tell me that he thought Jeff Bridges was miscast in Big Lebowski. And I think that's officially the worst take of all time, just on every level. But that could be second, I'd say. No, Goodfellas is definitely better because Goodfellas is like perfectly cast and Casino is like, no, but Casino's good. I think it makes you, Casino takes you to the abyss. Like Casino is like a punishment for Goodfellas. Goodfellas is so fun and Casino shows you how empty all this shit is. So you really, by the end, you feel kind of gross. But I feel like in a way that's what he's going for. So I guess he succeeds in that sense, you know?
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, Casino is one of my favorite movies of all time. I've watched it 100 times.
So
I know
watchable.
every fucking line, every syllable, but it's just not as good. It's just not.
Well, everyone, you don't really care. I mean, Joe Pesci's great, but you don't care about anyone in it. Like you're just like, in a way, it's like a very like De Niro, you just don't care. You don't care about his love affair with, apparently they're going to go with another woman, a younger woman. Instead, Sharon Stone weaseled her way in. I just think she's just really bad.
Yeah, I don't think she's great in it. I
will say this, James Woods, greatest depiction of a sleazeball in film history, him in that movie.
Oh, the walk when he's in that fucking like rubber-looking jacket and pants, and he's got his.
It's incredible. It's never been a better sleazy. Like that's the ultimate sleaziness. He's so fucking good.
No, it's great. Okay.
But guess Quiz Show I like, except Quiz Show is predicated on the belief that somehow America was wholesome. And then it kind of became like lying later on somehow. You know, it's predicated on a very sentimental idea, which I don't like, which is this belief that America was ever like a good, wholesome place. So ultimately, I do think it's like a sentimental bullshit message, but it's a very entertaining story. And Ray Fiennes is kind of so great at it. It kind of makes it moving.
I love Ray Fiennes, especially in Schindler's List from the year before.
Oh yeah, he's killer in that. Yeah.
Literally.
He does kill a lot of Jews in that.
All right, let's talk about Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction you love, I hope.
I like it a lot. I think Jackie Brown's a better movie. I think Pulp Fiction is I think Pulp Fiction, so I like movies to be about like, I do like real things I can like relate to, like, you know, and things that are on some level about real people. On some level, I know they can be stylized. Or movies that are kind of saying something. I think Pulp Fiction is so entertaining. I don't think it's saying anything at all, but I think it's very entertaining. And Jackie Brown is actually a very like moving story, I thought. So I actually do like Jackie Brown more.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, Pulp Fiction is probably not my favorite Tarantino movie. I like Kill Bill, and I also love Inglourious Bastards. But
that's good. I think Django is great. I think Django is really Another movie that I really like. But I just think, I mean, Pulp Fiction is like, and that's just me. It's just not really about anything, you know. But it is very entertaining, obviously.
Very entertaining. I love it. One of my favorite movies ever. I mean, outrageously entertaining. So original. So unique. So funny. So cool. And
you think you could have a movie nowadays where, well, there's a lot of things that movie you could not do. You definitely couldn't have a white director say the N-word to a black actor he's paying.
And like hard N-word too. Like
hard N-word.
E-R N-word.
Oh, it's not. Yeah, it is. He ers it a couple times. It actually is kind of an amazing line, like the thing he's saying. But like the fact that he did that is crazy. And also that, and the other black guy in the movie gets raped in the ass.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was like nominated for, it won best screenplay. It was nominated for best picture. I mean, like, times have changed there. Now I think it's always been like this, but now the Academy and all this stuff, they just will go with a movie that is politically correct and
sure.
shun a movie that's politically incorrect, which is a bad change, obviously.
And the thing is that like Samuel L. Jackson is a great role in that movie. That's where it's like things are like complicated. Like obviously that N-word part does not hold up. But Tarantino gave, I guess that's a little less to say. It didn't hold up. It's not as good. Him calling him the N-word was just not as good as I remembered it. But like he gave great role. I mean, Samuel Jackson's role is great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
And then Spike Lee criticized Tarantino, which I guess he has a right to. But I feel like all Spike Lee ever gave Samuel Jackson a role was playing a crackhead in Jungle Fever. Him just going, ooh, I'm a crackhead.
He's the DJ also in Do the Right Thing.
Right. But like, it's a great role in Pulp Fiction.
Oh, juicy. Of the two things, they keep talking about how the body has no head. Marvin has no head, and then they show him, they throw him in the trunk, and his head is perfectly intact.
Yeah, well, maybe they're just like embellishing.
I guess they're embellishing.
Or, I mean, maybe they meant to say he has no face.
Yeah, but he has a face when they throw him in the trunk.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Also, quick trivia. Of the four main characters, the main stars, only one is not wearing a wig throughout the film. Which one?
Well, can you tell me who the four main stars are? So we just on the same page. Oh, I mean, obviously Bruce Willis.
Yeah, Bruce Willis is the answer.
Oh, that's a joke. Okay, sorry.
I mean, it's a joke, but it's a funny question because you don't think of necessarily as that Travolta and Uma Thurman are wearing wigs, but they are.
Oh yeah. Samuel Jackson has the fro. Yeah, it's a wig-heavy movie.
Yeah, I mean, 75% of its stars are wearing wigs.
Yeah.
Big stars. Now, on to the most underrated film of '94.
And I just want you to know, I'm not a contrarian. Like, I don't know what you're about to say, but to show you that I don't want to be contrarian, I want to agree with whatever you're about to say. I really do. I'm just letting you know that.
About a little film called Hoop Dreams.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's like a masterpiece. Yeah.
All right. Well, what are you talking about? No one ever talks about it. It was not nominated for an Academy Award.
I mean, Roger Ebert had the best movie of all time. The
best movie of the year, the best documentary of all time. But I mean, most people have not seen it. It got completely dismissed at whatever it was, Sundance or Cannes.
That would have been crazy if I'm like, yeah, Quentin Tarantino, it was fine when he said the N-word, and then you brought up Hoop Dreams, and I'm like, I hated it. Like, that would have been such a...
But a lot of people have not seen it, never talked about it. I mean, literally didn't get nominated for anything.
Well, it is. I mean, it was a documentary.
It didn't get, yeah, there's a category for documentary.
Well, I know. Documentary. It didn't get nominated for documentary?
No, that's what I'm saying.
God, shit was racist back then. That's crazy. Like, also, Ebert did not put it number one movie of the year. He put it number one movie of the 90s.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it is like
both,
amazing film, and I just rewatched it again. I've watched it a bunch of times. It's really, really tremendous.
I actually haven't seen it since for years. I should watch it again. Is that your favorite documentary?
Tough to say. I mean, I got a lot of documentaries. I mean, my favorite documentary is probably like my top 20. It's No Direction Home, also by Martin Scorsese. I mean, that's like...
Oh, the newer one. I mean, not the newer one.
Newer.
But not Don't Look Back, but No Direction.
Yeah, No Direction.
The one that's like an interview, yeah.
That's my second favorite Scorsese movie behind Goodfellas. I mean,
really?
It's like an absolute masterpiece. And then it's hard because like some are like Ken Burns' Vietnam I mean, is that a movie? It's 9 hours long. I don't guess it's a series, but it's
It's
a movie.
incredible.
I don't know. That's amazing. Rory Kennedy made Last Days in Vietnam, which is amazing. If you ever watch that.
Here's the thing about documentaries. They're all good for the most part. They're
There's
all,
some shit ones. There's some
but
shit
most of them are good. I feel like anytime someone recommends me a documentary, I'm almost like, I know it's going to be good. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like most documentaries are good. At least now. It's higher ratio of you watching a documentary that's good than any other genre.
Yes, I agree with that. The 7-5, did you see that one?
7-5.
It's
No,
about
what's that?
75th precinct in New York. It's in Brooklyn.
Oh, is that about like all the crooked cops?
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. It's like it's so funny. It's so thrilling. It's amazing. It's really amazing. And then one of my all-time favorite movies. I hope you've seen this. I hope you love it. King of Kong, Fistful of Quarters. That's probably my second favorite documentary.
I have not seen that. That's the one about the arcades.
Yeah, dude, it is unbelievably good. You should put it in the top of your list. I mean, it's so fun. It's so compelling. It's so funny. It's like 80 minutes long. It's like it's magical.
I gotta check it out. Have you seen Rewind that came out this year?
Oh yeah, that one was amazing. The kid reminds me of you a little bit.
Because he's fat and Jewish.
Yeah.
And I got raped by my uncle.
Yeah, that one's amazing.
And my other uncle.
And Dear Zachary. Dear Zachary's another
I haven't
one
seen that one.
Unbelievable.
Rewind was crazy because he gets raped. What kind of luck is you get raped by two uncles? That's such bad luck to get raped by two uncles.
Yeah, I thought there was a third too. Wasn't there a third guy fucking with them? A great uncle?
There was the first cousin. He raped their sister.
Right.
His sister. He didn't rape him, but he gets raped by an uncle, and then his other uncle also rapes him.
I'm just gonna pull that one clip of you laughing while I'm saying that. End your career before it starts. But no, that one's amazing. Dear Zachary is really unbelievable. But what makes Rewind amazing and Dear Zachary, they're both movies that the people were making their own like homemade documentary. So you have a ton of footage.
Right. That's what's so creepy about Rewind is you're just seeing footage of them all at the dinner table, and you're like, this looks exactly like footage at my house. You know what I mean? Like it's just like it's just so it makes you really like, I don't know, for me, I feel like so much of that home footage was relatable. I mean, I only got raped by one uncle, but I still feel like a lot of it I really could identify with, especially though Jews. Yeah, it was that Cantor. He's so evil when he's like holding the baby and he's like, it's me.
Yeah.
It really makes Jews look bad.
Yeah, there's a lot of misbehavior from the Jews when it comes to Me Too and all that stuff.
I feel like every rapist for the last couple of years has either been Jewish or a comedian. Either one of my two features.
Yeah, that's tough. But you're not a rapist.
I'm not a rapist, no. But I am Jewish. But it's it's a bad look. We tend to. I guess we're just Jews are rapists just because Jews run Hollywood, and Hollywood's rapey.
Yeah, and those are the rapists that are getting all the airplay, is the ones that are on TV and such, and so.
But I mean, in Rewind, he's got two uncles who rape him, and then his father who just like kind of lets it happen. So the Jews in that are either raping or kind of like so nebbishy. They're like, I know my uncles raped me, but I assumed it was just a phase, and I don't want to say anything to them, so I'll just have them over. So too bad. But the kid's heroic. He's Jewish.
He's heroic, and he made a fine film. By the way, are you watching Murder on Middle Beach on HBO?
No, is it great?
It's a new amazing one. Yeah, it's amazing. It's great.
I will say that kid's very fat though, so the rapists were like, do you get any credit for having sex with a fat person, or I guess not if they're like a child and you're molesting them?
Are we doing that? Is that something? Because I fucked a ton of fat women. I didn't know.
Does that mean you're like a good person?
I don't know. I just did it because I hated myself. I was just like, this girl will probably have sex with me.
Yeah. I can't. It's hard for me because I'm fat. But don't you think you're probably a little attractive? Because you're a skinny dude.
I'm fit, thin.
I'm sorry.
You're thin. Geez.
Well, Schopenhauer, the philosopher, he said that we have sex with people who are the opposite of us. Because if we feel like we're something too in the extreme, we'll have sex with someone who's in the other extreme because we're sexually attracted to the thing that would make our offspring the most in shape. So if someone's really skinny, they'll fuck kind of a chubbier person because they think that will make like a perfect offspring, you know?
Interesting. See, I don't like a chubby, but I would not be into a tall, lanky, skinny woman with bad teeth.
Because that would be too extreme. Yeah, the person. And, you know, you want to be attracted to the opposite. That's why I'm like attracted to skinny girls. Because, you know, if I have, you know, and it's nothing against bigger women, but I just feel like if I'm with a bigger woman, then our kid will be really fat, and I'm really fat, and I used to be really fat, and I was fat shamed a lot, and there's a lot of trauma there.
Yeah, you want a nice, good-looking kid.
My mom on Zoom,
like a really hot woman to kind of.
I know. That's the problem. I have to fuck a really hot woman just to get a decent-looking guy, but then no hot woman wants to fuck me, so it's a real conundrum.
Yeah, that's tough. Hey, do you want to plug some things? Because this is going to be seen by at least 300 people.
Oh, really? Shit. Am I going to be canceled? I thought this was just like something to show at like family events or something. Wait, was 300 people like you saying not a lot?
I'm saying that's not a lot. I mean, it will be
Oh, that's
more
funny.
people than that.
I was like, that's a lot.
Oh, no. Well, it's got to go on
number.
the Tuesdays with Stories Patreon has over 3,500 people. So that's something. And then YouTube, I don't know what it'll get. 1,000 on YouTube. Who knows? I mean, who's going to sit through this?
I hope not, because I feel like it gets a little dicey in the middle.
No,
you haven't been canceled yet.
No, not. I mean, knock on wood, but we're not big enough.
Yeah, right. That's true. That's,
like if I sold a show, it would be over before they fucking inked the deal.
Yeah, I remember like someone was like attacking me online once. I told a friend, I was like, I'm worried that I'm going to get more successful, and then those attacks are going to bring me down. And he was like, you don't have to worry about that. And you know, we both knew what he was talking about.
I don't think this was so bad, by the way.
No.
We said retard a lot, and you said they're bad people, but
yeah, I know. I say the R word. I don't say it on stage, but I'll still say it on video. You bring it out of me. It's your fault. You're an enabler.
Yeah, that's one that's just tough to give up. I mean, we're from that generation.
Yeah, it's just a funny sound, you know?
Yeah, and it everyone knows what we're talking about. And again, I mean, it's been often made. We're not saying it's not like there's somebody with Down syndrome on the Zoom that we're like, hey, look at this retard. We're talking about Forrest Gump.
Right, but he's a little retarded. So we are calling a retard a little.
Yeah, but he's fictional. He's not real.
He is fictional. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, we'll be fine. But yeah, if you want to listen to my album, Downhill Ever Since, it's on like Spotify, and I'm doing a solo show. I'm one of these douches. I'm doing a solo show on Zoom. I did it the other day. It went well. I'm doing it again. It's called Raanan. I'm doing it December 19th at 8 p.m. It's free on Zoom. It's long though. It's like 2 hours. But like, if you want to come see it, it's the link is on my Instagram at Raanan Comedy, Raanan Comedy.
Yeah, and I got people asking me all the time about you because we talked about you on Tuesdays, and I really kind of exaggerated on how well you did at the show.
I know, I saw that. It really made me feel, I was like, yeah, really made me, but you balanced it out the next week. I feel like you said Louis hated me and you called me chubby Jew.
I didn't say that, did I?
Yeah.
Oh,
all right.
geez.
Chubby's fine. I'll take chubby. Honestly, chubby is okay. Like, once people say fat, my feelings get hurt, but chubby, I mean, I know what I am.
You keep saying fat. Also, you're 90s fat at worst. Like you're not 2020 fat. You're like
George Costanza fat.
Yeah. You're just like a normal guy.
Yeah, I know, but it's bad. I gained 10 pounds on quarantine. I'm gonna lose it though. I'm on Weight Watchers now.
Yeah, you'll be great. But no, and obviously Louis likes you. I was only kidding.
Yeah. Well, I like him. It was great. Yeah, I didn't actually take that hat, by the way. That's the thing.
Well, you leave the hat behind, you mean?
Yeah, that was I really did forget, but maybe subconsciously I did that.
Well, you know what's ironic? His hat is in my car.
Oh, really?
Like your hat is in his car, and his hat is in my car. So
you think he likes you that much that he's doing the leave behind with you?
I think so. Probably. I mean, he's lost some friends through the years, so he's got to hold on.
A little desperate.
I mean, a lot of people bailed on him. I don't want to get into that, but hey, this was really fun. Maybe we'll do this again.
I'd love to. Yeah, this is great. I always love talking to you. Buddy.
What should we call it? What do we call it? Joe and Raanan talk about movies.
Perfect. That would really
movie talk. I mean,
Joe and Raanan talk movies. I think that's good. No, is that bad?
Maybe.
Every other movie thing's been taken. You know what I mean? Let's just take Defend Your Movie. Let's just take Donnelly's and start a war.
Fuck them. Yeah, ours is better.
Yeah, but yeah, Joe and Raanan talk movies. Joe and Raanan, you know, I don't know.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah. No, this is great. Thanks for having me, buddy.
Yeah, it was fun. We'll do it again. And thanks a lot, pal. Appreciate it.
Let's do it again. All right, talk soon, bud.
All right, bye.